Cybersecurity risks have changed significantly over the last couple of years. Let's take a look at some new research at how these new risks are representing themselves in the industry today and how we can change our security posture to address these new risks. Hi, I'm Steve Murphy. I'm a Vice President at ARG, and while I work for ARG, this video is my own and doesn't necessarily represent the views of my employer. Additionally, some of the information we're going to talk about today, primarily all of the images that we're going to share, graphs of cyber data research, are those of Verizon's and their data breach investigation report from 2021. While these graphs are from Verizon's research, the interpretation is my own. One of the interesting things that I saw in the Verizon research was this graph representing the motivations of cyber threat actors. It's clear from this graph that getting paid is the #1 incentive for bad actors today. They're no longer interested in cyber espionage or even issues-based hacking. Getting paid or a financial incentive is the primary driver for cyber risks today. That means that you don't have to be a target. Anyone with a bank account is actually a target. You don't have to be a large organization or have a lot of intellectual property or have some other attractive feature about your organization to a cyber threat actor. You just have to have the ability to pay them when they lock your stuff up. And so financial rewards are driving the market. That means that everyone is at risk because everyone is a potential financial beneficiary to these cyber attackers. One of the really interesting things in Verizon's research this year is how much organized crime is influencing the cyber risk marketplace. They're representing over 80% of the cyber threats that organizations encountered last year. And that means that cyber crime is a big business, and organized crime is taking over cyber crime. And we're seeing this, for example, in new distribution strategies for malware, where you will have the malware developers licensing or distributing in other fashions in terms of shareware, for example, or software as a service, their threat software to other less sophisticated attackers who will actually go off and execute the attack. This separates the malware developers from a risk perspective to actually instigating those attacks, and it also gives them huge economies of scale in terms of distributing their malware. So this is one of the biggest risks that we see in the marketplace today in the vast distribution of attacks. Older unsupported systems are primary risk exposure for organizations today. And we see a lot of our clients that have older proprietary software that's been hosted on expired platforms. You can see from this chart that 25% of the organizations surveyed had vulnerabilities on platforms that dated from 2010 and earlier. 25% of the organizations had exposure because they had old platforms out in the wild and were not being properly patched and updated. We encourage all of our clients to try to migrate off of those old systems or somehow upgrade to currently supported operating systems. Now, I think this is one of the more telling charts in the Verizon research. Essentially what this says is virtually everyone is receiving malicious URLs through their email. And if you are a company of any size, pretty much over 100 employees or more, you have a close to 100% probability of having someone install malware on your network. This is why the cybersecurity space is so important to organizations today, and why I'm so passionate in helping organizations stay up to date in terms of what's available in the marketplace. With that, I want to thank you for spending your time on this video. If you got some value out of this and want to continue the conversation, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description of the video. And if you did get some value, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, a like, and thank you very much in advance for doing that. And if you want to return to my channel in the future, the easiest way of finding your way back here is by hitting that subscribe button.